In this video, we will be charging the refrigeration system in this 2003 Toyota Camry. The setup for charging refrigerant into the refrigeration system is as follows. We first begin with a set of manifold gauges. These gauges are rated for R134A, which is the type of refrigerant used in this system. At the start of this process, all of our valves are in the off position. With our manifold gauges, we have a low side, which is the blue hose. If we follow that line inside the engine bay, it is connected on our low side port. This is identified by a blue cap. If we remove that blue low side cap, that will allow us access to our low side port. We can then come in and attach our low side fitting and open the line to the fitting. We also have our high side hose. This can be identified as a red hose. If we follow that hose into the engine bay, this is connected to our high side port, identified with a red cap. Removing that red high side cap will give us access to our high side port. We can attach our fitting and open that connection point between the fitting and our high side. And we also have our 3/8 inch vacuum line, which runs from our manifold down to our vacuum pump. With everything connected, we can open up our suction side, which is our blue low side. We want to open that all the way. We can then open our discharge, which is our red line or our high side all the way, followed by the 3/8 inch vacuum line, and we can open that one all the way as well. We can then turn on the vacuum pump, and we want to wait for 1 hour while the vacuum pump vacuums down the system. We can see on the gauges that we are registering negative pressure. After 1 hour, we will close the vacuum line valve, followed by our high side valve, followed by the low side valve. We can then turn off our vacuum pump, and we want to wait about 20 to 30 minutes watching the gauges to see if they move. The goal is that they do not move, which means our system is tight and there are no leaks. This one's looking pretty good. We can then prep our refrigerant can by installing our valve. After that, we can take our refrigerant line and connect that up. We want to puncture the can all the way and then back that off just a little bit, and that can be placed upside down. So how we have this prepped, our blue low side line is still connected inside the engine. That is connected to our valve, which is closed. Our red high side line is still connected in the engine. That is also connected to our valve, which is closed. We have our charging line connected to our refrigerant can. Our refrigerant can is open. However, our valve on the manifold is closed. But currently there is air that has filled the charging line. We need to purge that air out. And to do this, we are going to just slightly crack that connection point until we see a little bit of refrigerant released, and then tighten that back up. At this point, we are ready to start the vehicle and let it idle for a short period of time. We're going to slowly bring up the air all the way to high. Turn on recirculate. Make sure our air temperature is all the way cold, and turn on the air conditioner. we'll open the refrigerant charging valve slightly and then open our low side, throttling it as the refrigerant is entering the system. We want it to work its way nice and easily into the system. And as we throttle that low side, we want to watch the sight glass on our high side. Specifically, we are looking for bubbles. Now, because the refrigerant cans are fairly small, this did require about a can and a half. When the bubbles go away and it becomes clear, there is enough refrigerant in the system. And as we watch this, we can see fewer and fewer bubbles, and then all of a sudden, it becomes clear. With the vehicle idling, our low side is about 44, and our high side is about 180. If I increase my idle to about 1500 RPM, my low side now registers about 32, and my high side is sitting at about 205. And checking the air temperature with a thermometer, we can see that the current air temperature is about 60 degrees. And just out of curiosity, I did hook up my AC Pro can gauge, and I just wanted to check and see what it was reading. Now, I did notice that the needle is fluctuating back and forth. According to smartacsolutions.com, if that low side is fluctuating or bouncing, it is possible that the refrigerant is a little bit low. Now, on AC Pro's website, they did note that at 85 degrees, which is what it is right now, the low side should read about 45 to 55 psi, and the high side should read about 225 to 250. Based on my readings, both of these are low. If I take a look at their other chart, because both of these are low, it suggests adding more refrigerant. Additionally, according to acdiagnosis.com, the air temperature should be between 35 and 40 degrees if it's 70 degrees outside. Now, given that it's a little bit warmer, that temperature should probably be a little bit warmer. I'm at 60, which is significantly above what it probably should be. So again, this is an indication that I need a little bit more refrigerant. And when I then check that air temperature again, I can see that I am down about 48 degrees, which is much cooler. Additionally, my gauges are registering in the zone that I want them to register. To remove everything, we're going to start by closing our low side. We'll then close our charge line. We then want to close our connection fitting for our low side, and we can remove that and replace it with the cap. Following that, we can close our connection opening on our high side and remove that fitting and install the cap. We can back off our tap for our can and remove our charge line. And at this point, we can pick everything up, and this repair is complete.